it's been a year or so since I did my last update, and I wanted to let you all know how my Uber adventures are going, seeing as I've just hit my Uber second birthday. I've had a huge response to my other female Uber driver videos, so I thought what better way to get back into filming and doing another YouTube video for you guys is to update you now that I'm 2 years into my Uber driving experience. I'm based in Australia, in Sydney, for those who don't know. If you haven't seen my other videos, I'll link them below. But basically 2 years ago I started driving because I really wanted a flexible part-time job. I'm an artist, so I need something that I can do around all sorts of hours. If I don't, sorry, there's so much construction where I live, hopefully that doesn't happen the whole way through. But because of my job, I really need something flexible, something that I can just do at the drop of a hat, something that I don't have to do if I'm too busy. So it's been awesome because you have no boss. It doesn't matter if you need to call in sick, not that you even call in sick, but you know, there's no boss, so you don't have anyone you have to answer to. It's all done on your own, by your own rules, at your own pace. You can make as much money or as little as you want and drive as much or as infrequently as you like. So it's been really, really great for me. I've had some ups and downs for sure. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's definitely something I prefer to do part-time, as in a couple of hours at a time. Sometimes if I am really quiet, like last winter I wasn't very busy with my art stuff, and I had a whole bunch of personal stuff going on, and so I used it just to basically get out of the house, and I would drive for maybe 6 or 7 hours in my day just to, you know, get through each day. So it was really good because I had something to do, I had a reason to get up and get out of the house, and being able to chat to people, even though I didn't really want to at that point in time because I just, you know, personally wasn't feeling very good. I think it really helped me and my mental health and stuff as well to make sure I got out of the house, and you know, even though I was struggling with the communication part of it and sort of dreaded doing it at the time, it was good and it did save me financially and you know, all that kind of stuff. So I prefer to do it a couple of hours every morning because it's really, really busy. It surges. Where I live is nice and close to the city, so it's very easy trips, either to and from the city or to and from the airport is pretty much the best thing. So what I've learnt, one of my biggest things which I've learnt is how to play the system. I know it sounds really dodgy, but for me it works really well, and hopefully for other drivers it will, and this is for male or female, any Uber driver. You can set a trip destination twice in one day. So you can only do it twice, otherwise everyone would do it all the time and the whole system would fail. But you can you can set a destination. So I would say maybe set a destination for Wollongong, and then I'm only getting trips between Sydney and South. So a lot of the time, because I live centrally, they're always going past the airport, so you get a lot of airport trips doing that. So especially when I don't want to be going all over the city or ending up way out west or north, I will use that destination, and it will only expire once that time it would take you to get to, say, Wollongong, which is like an hour and a half, hour away. Generally the destination won't expire until either you get there, and I never go to Wollongong so I'm not going, but I simply use it for trips going in that direction, somewhere between here and there. And a lot of the time, because it doesn't expire straight away, you can loop back and then you might get another trip going to the airport, or loop back and get another trip going, you know, further south. So yeah, I have heard drivers who do get trips to Wollongong, but apparently that is more sort of late at night when they're super desperate to get home, or it might just be like quite a rare occasion. But yeah, so that's a really great tip that I've picked up and have used and tested a lot and works really, really well. It's great because for me, an airport trip is around $30 in my pocket and it takes about 20 minutes to get there, so it's pretty good money for time. And even when you consider driving back, often the airport is such a busy, popular destination for Uber riders or passengers, so I never have any trouble picking up multiple trips in a couple of hours and just go airport. It makes more sense to double back and not on a trip, because you're getting another one straight away and it's going that whole distance. So for me and for where I live and for the distance and the time, it works out really, really well. So that's something that you could definitely incorporate into your Uber driving practice. If something like that works for you, you can do it for any kind of destination. And then I always generally will set my second destination as my home. So once I'm done with Uber, depending where I am, usually I'll end up further away from my house, and then will just use the other one to get home. So that's really easy because you know that you're only going the direction of your home. What else? I haven't really had any crazy stories like my ambulance story that time. That girl definitely takes the cake as the top kind of weird story. Generally, now in the second year of doing this, people are just so chilled, really cruisy. I only work during daylight hours, and usually it's sort of in the mornings on the weekdays, so I don't get a whole lot of weirdness. People are really nice and polite. Now that I'm feeling a lot more chipper and I've been really, really sick lately, but this morning I went out for the first time in a couple of weeks and it was great. I had some really nice people. I was obviously on had a good vibe, so people were really friendly and had some good chats, met some awesome people. So yeah, it's been pretty good. But because I'm so busy with my art stuff and selling art now a lot more, and I've got different projects and stuff in the works, I'm not Ubering as much, but I'm loving it more. That makes sense. For me, it definitely works way better as just a part-time couple hours a day thing, because I don't get bored, I don't get sick of it, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. As a full-time thing, last year when I was doing more solid hours, I was making lots of money, but I hated it. Absolutely hated it. My phone's going off. Just did not want to do it, resented it, absolutely just was hating it, wasn't loving the experience, but I knew that it would get me out of the house, and my bank account liked it. But yeah, you really need, for me, I needed to find my balance again, and yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more because I don't have to do it, I think. What else? I still always get asked, although it's not every single passenger at all anymore, but I will still get asked, oh, do you like it? And it's like, well, it's so funny because just saying how much I hated it, I would, all those times that I was not loving it was when people would ask, and I'd just be like, yeah, it's great, it's really flexible, and inside I was just like, fucking hate it. But you can't say that to people. Like, I can tell my friends and stuff that, but yeah, so it's just, you just got to make it work for you, I think. But yeah, so always get like, how long have you been doing it, and do you like it? And you kind of think, well, right now in those moments I wasn't loving it, but it's kind of like, people really wouldn't do it if they really didn't want to do it. Like, I love the flexibility of it, and even though I wasn't feeling my best and didn't want to be working, I still like it as a job. It's still much better than having to answer to some boss and having to go and sit in an office all day. So yeah, I overall I do like it. It would be so nice to not have to work on the side, but I mean, I'm an artist. I'm always going to have to work on the side. If you're a creative or you own your own business, a lot of people do stuff on the side because you need to have, you know, it's such a requirement a lot of the time to have an extra income to supplement your own small business income. But yeah, so overall, enjoying it. What else? I really should have looked at my old video and like re-answered all the same things that I talked about. I haven't even rewatched it since I did it, so I don't know. But I got such a big response, so many comments and lots of views. So obviously people are enjoying these kind of videos, which is awesome. And it's so cool to see so many of you either saying like my video really helped and they were going to go sign up, or they've just signed up and they agree with like all the different things. And it's nice to just have like a little community, especially of females, but of guys too. I used to be part of a WhatsApp group in Sydney, and I had to just remove myself from the group because it was just so full on all the time, and I wasn't Ubering full time, so I just couldn't keep up with all the combos and stuff because I wasn't on it all day like a lot of the others were, because a lot of them were full-timers. But it was cool to have a little community of people and meet up with them every now and again. So if anyone's got any questions they want me to answer, definitely leave in the comments because I will get back to you. I love replying to all of you guys' comments. What else have I learnt in the last year? I think the main thing is just to always remember that like you're gonna have shitty passengers. It's gonna happen. Sometimes I bite my tongue, sometimes I don't. The times that I've called people out for being rude, they have like instantly been like, oh shit, sorry. And it's like, well yeah, like you don't have to be such a dick. Like I'm just driving you to where you want to go, like you can calm down. And yeah, so I'm not afraid to say something if I really think so. I've never kicked anyone out yet. I've wanted to. I've really wanted to sometimes. But I just bite my tongue and I'm just like, we're going to be there in like 5 to 10 minutes. It's not a big deal. Just bite your tongue. It's like that whole smile and wave thing. Just bite your tongue, and if they were like really inappropriate or something, for sure I'd stop and be like, get the F out. But yeah, generally they're just kind of rude up themselves people when you're just going, oh god, like get a grip. But yeah, so never thrown anyone out. Oh my god, I had this really inappropriate, shitty asshole of a dickwad guy. I don't think I've talked about this before, and I think it might have happened before my last, it would have happened before my last video, but I picked this guy up and it said, you're picking up Shirley. So I was like, sweet, Shirley girl, get on in. Get there, some guy turns up, and I was just like, oh great, okay, he's probably ordered it for him. Gets in, stinks of alcohol. This is like 11 AM on like a Wednesday or Thursday or something. Gets in and you could tell he's been drinking, and then he's like boasting about how he's been drinking. He's been at the casino all night watching some sporting game with some mate, and now he's going into the city to have some boozy lunch with some other mate. So I was just over the harbour bridge, which is not far, to come back to the city, like 10-minute drive. Coming like over the bridge and was dropping him right in the city. So all I had to do was cross the bridge basically. And he's just like boasting about how he's like won 20 grand at the casino, and you know, he had to sit in the front, and I was like, why the fuck did you sit in the front? Like, get out of my space. Anyway, side note, hate it when people sit in the front and they're dicks, or sit in the front and say nothing, because you're like, this is really weird, like, get out of my space if you're not going to communicate. Like, you could totally sit in the back. So this guy gets in, banging on about his casino win, drunk as a skunk, and then he's like, oh, do you want to come to lunch with us? And I was just like, nah, I'm good. And he's like, oh, you married? And I was like, yep. And he's like, oh, what'd your husband do? What's your husband's name? People ask me this all the time. I find it borderline inappropriate, because I'm kind of like, smelling your beeswax, but okay. And yeah, and he's wanting to know all this, that, and then he gets his friend on the phone, and he's like, hey, talk to my friend, and I'm like, fuck off, I'm driving, and he's like, like, and holding his phone to, like, a thing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to drive you, mate, like, goodbye. And he's, like, just oblivious, like, he didn't get angry, and he wasn't, like, offended by me or anything, but I was just like, get the fuck away from my face. And yeah, and dropped him off, and then he's like trying to shake my hand and stuff, and he's like, oh, you sure you don't want to come for lunch? And I'm just like, get out of my car. Oh my god, like 1 star, sent a little thing being like, this guy, blah 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 blah, and then Uber's like, yeah, great, thanks for telling me. I swear they don't do anything, but the theory is that all of your comments they put in like on the person's profile, so I guess if it builds a big story of how much of a dickwad they are, they get thrown out, I don't know. So that guy was so fun to deal with. What else? Generally if I get like a group of guys in the car or something that are young guys, I'm not bothered, like no one's been that, I mean from that one dick face, no one has been that inappropriate, like no one's tried to like touch me or like, you know, say rude, gross things. Generally it's just like, you know, they crack a joke or whatever and we have a bit of a laugh, so it's funny. Like I grew up with a lot of boys, so I totally get the boy humour. So yeah, that, I mean, generally it's fun more than anything. The thing that is annoying is groups of girls, especially drunk girls, because they talk all over each other, and I'm just like, far out. I hope me and my friends are not as annoying as you guys, because they just all pile into the car, and then they're like, you know, all got their phones and their music playing on their phones, and then, and this is like during the day, and then all talking like, screaming at the top of their lungs over each other. It's so funny. Us as girls, like we just don't let a word in edgeways. We're all like, yeah. Anyway, eye-opening. Heard a few little old ladies, which is really cool. I love when the older generation are using Uber to get around, and this isn't even on Uber Assist, which is like another thing you can kind of like opt into, where you will pick up people with wheelchairs or Zimmer frames or whatever, people that need assistance, like if you're on crutches or whatever, and you need an extra hand to get in and out of the car. This wasn't on, I'm not opted into that, but I've taken a few people that would fall under that category, and that's always been pretty fun. Had this one old lady and she was so sassy, and I was thinking like, oh, this is going to be nice, we'll have a little chit chat, and you know, no, she was just like, what are you turning that way for? And you know, and just basically got in the car and left a Zimmer frame on the side of the thing, and she's like, yep, can you put that in the back? And I was just like, okay. And then I was like, God, I don't know how to just like fold these things down. She's like, don't you know how to do it? And it's like, fuck, I'm not old, I don't have one, like why should I know? She was, yeah, Miss Sassy Pants, so that was quite funny. But yeah, in terms of like payment and that kind of stuff, I have found that Uber isn't as good as it used to be 2 years ago. There's definitely a lot of drivers now. It's very competitive. That's why I only stick to peak times, where it surges and it's like bang bang bang, because otherwise during the day it does drop off between sort of like, I don't know, 10 and 3. It's definitely not as busy as the other times, but that's when I would generally use a destination, so that I could maximize trips going, like say like to the airport or whatever, because people go to the airport at all times of the day. So yeah, that's always a good kind of tip for the quieter times. Otherwise, you know, take a break during those times, go get a coffee, chill out, go for a swim at the beach, whatever. Yeah, what else would I have? What else is a good trip? I don't know. I mean, outside of Sydney, I really don't know what other cities and stuff are like for female drivers. I still get people who go, oh, you're only my 5th ever female driver, or I've only ever had 2, or you get the flip side of people saying, oh, all I ever get like is females now all the time, and it's it's not so much just a lot of foreigners driving that are men, middle-aged men, so I mean that's encouraging. I don't think it's going to become anywhere near as equal or anything. It's really nice though to know that more females feel comfortable doing it, because that's the only thing I think stops a lot of people, is feeling comfortable and thinking, oh god, but they're strangers and what do you do, and what if someone's, you know, inappropriate. And I mean, if they're inappropriate, you stop your car, you call the cops, like you tell them to get out type of thing. Definitely don't ever feel like you shouldn't speak up or say something. Like I said before, a lot of the time if someone is a dick, I'll be like, you know, if I'm feeling like they need to be told, or like, you know, shut down and stop to, you know, saying something inappropriate or being really, really rude, I will definitely say something, and yeah, they will most likely be like, oh shit, sorry. So people have bad days all the time, and a lot of the time you get people who are like that just because they've been stressed. The minute they got into your car or something, you're like, you kind of get the brunt of it. So yeah, so I think it's just important to always remember that. I think it's important for riders to always remember that their drivers are people too, just like them, and you know, vice versa. Like, you know, we'll kind of give people a bit of a break, and sometimes it's easier just to pretend that like, oh no, don't worry, you're not being a backseat driver at all. So yeah, like I try and just keep the peace as much as possible. But you know, if you need to say something, definitely say something. And although I've heard mixed reviews, I believe Uber is on your side and will help you if you've had really bad experiences. I haven't had that many at all, but I will let Uber know, like I'll send them an email and be like, this is what happened with this person, just so that they've got my, you know, sort of record of it as it happens. If you ever if a passenger ever leaves something in your car, that's another thing you've got to sort of deal with. It's only ever happened to me maybe 3 times. A phone, a wallet, and then a whole like handbag was forgotten once, but luckily with the handbag, that was really recent. I had a really, really lovely girl I was dropping at the airport, and as she got out, she was collecting all her things, but just forgot that her handbag was at her feet. And luckily I noticed, because she was sitting in the front just before I went to drive off, that it was still there. So I thought, okay, well I may as well stay where I am at the drop off. She's going to notice eventually, because she won't have her license or passport, she can't check in. So if I hang here, she's guaranteed to kind of come back looking, or at least get in touch with Uber and call me or whatever. So I couldn't get in touch with her because I obviously didn't have her details once the trip was finished. But yeah, she managed to, after about sort of 5-10 minutes of me waiting, I was about to lodge it as a lost property on the Uber app, because you can do that. Just for a record, just to be like, okay, yeah, I found this and this is what it looks like and all this kind of stuff. Just so it was on sort of the profile. If for whatever reason she didn't come back out, and just as I was doing that, my phone rang and she was like, oh my gosh, like I think I've left my bag, and I was like, it's fine, I'm still here, and it all worked out and it was great, and she was super appreciative. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes I don't notice straight away, even if I do have a quick look in the back. I mean, I'm not looking at every crevice. I've caught a lot of people, as I've looked back, there's been phones and I'm like, your phone, or whatever, or your keys, or you know, phone and keys are kind of a common thing. Not that it happens a lot, but yeah, otherwise I had a girl who had a wallet, and she put it on the floor in the front as she was sitting down, and I didn't know she put it on the floor, so I wasn't aware, and it was dark colour, and yeah, I noticed like maybe half an hour later, and I was like, oh, what's that? And that was her wallet. So because it had her ID in it, and I could trace back to the trip to find her name within the app, I just dropped it straight off at the Uber hub. and yeah, and they were like, have you lodged this? And I was like, I haven't even had a chance to tell you yet. I'm right here, so I thought I'd drop it off. So they were able to go through my history and just be like, yep, okay, cool, that's her. And then they sorted it out and got it back to her, because I was just like, I'm not going to run around, like, she was all over the other side of town, like where I had dropped her and everything, so yeah. But that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm going to like finish this, and as I'm editing I'll be like, duh, why didn't you talk about that? But yeah, I just wanted to kind of update everybody and say hi to everyone if you're new. If you're a new viewer or new to the whole Uber game, if you're a female and you're thinking about doing it, I highly recommend just signing up and giving it a go. I mean, the thing I did, I was just like, you know what, it might be really awful and I might hate it, but I can just quit like as soon as I start if I don't like it. And here I am 2 years later and I'm still doing the damn thing. So I just recommend, just give it a go. It's very, simple to sign up. As long as you've got a good driving history, as in you've not been a drunk driver, or you've had massive accidents or anything like that, under the influence of drugs or whatever. If you've got a good criminal record, police check, how they do all that background stuff. It sounds complicated, it's very simple. You do it all at Uber when you're signing up. And it's free. Don't bother going off and doing it yourself. I made that mistake in the beginning and didn't even need to. And they're like, no, you just come and we do it for free on the computers at Uber. So yeah, recommend signing up. Definitely look into it. Even just go to the hub and be like, I kind of want to sign up, but I don't really know what to do. And they're really friendly. They'll talk you all through it. Very, very simple. You just, as I said, you do a police check online at their computers. Just type in a few things. They just take your identification, your driver's license and passport, proof of address, that type of thing. And then if you've got your own car, they will need your car insurance just to show that you're insured, enough to be an Uber driver. And what else do they need? Pretty sure that's about it. I think now you need to have a driver authority, which is just another piece of paper you fill in and they send back and they're like, woohoo, you've got a driver authority. And what else? I think if you sign up now, Uber takes 25%. That was the latest I knew about. I'm still on 20 because I started before they upped it to 25. So they sort of kept that. Can't remember what the word I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. They kept drivers who were already at that percentage at 20, and all the new people from that particular date, which was after I signed up, went to 25. So I believe it's still 25%. But yeah, if you've got any questions, it's just becoming construction mania now outside my house, so I'm gonna go. But thanks so much, guys, for watching. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you feel like liking the video or subscribing, go for it. If you don't, whatevs. And I will speak to you guys really, really soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.